there, everyone. Thanks for joining me for another craft night with friends. Tonight we are working on the Newt embroidery, and we are going to be stitching with some of the fawn colored floss. We're going to be doing some satin stitching tonight. So thanks again for joining me. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas, and I'm here Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It's time that we can relax and craft together. So thanks again for joining. Let's get stitching. All right, here's the little dude so far. Scooch on over. Okay, so where we left off, last night we did a pile of French knots, and we went over the 3 things you may be doing wrong with your French knots. So that's what this little jumble of knots here is. So definitely check out that video. I haven't done a shortened video of it yet, but I still plan on it. So we'll get that out. But anyway, tonight we are doing all of these little dots, and those are going to be done with the satin stitch. And I think I am going to use this cream color yet. This is our fawn color. Hey, Adrian, I can see your comment over on Facebook, which makes me think that tonight I'll be able to read comments on Facebook. That's been hit or miss, but I can see it tonight, so that's excellent. All right, let's snip, and actually, let's see, new. Okay, yeah. All right, yep, I can see Catherine too. Thanks for joining, everyone. All right. Ooh, Robin says I finished my newt. Ooh, share it in the crafters, Penguin and Fish crafters group if you haven't. I haven't looked yet today if you did post it, but I'd love to see it. Oh, and I just remembered. Okay, we're doing satin stitch, so I think I'm actually going to stitch with 2 strands of floss. I've been doing that lately for satin stitch. Satin stitch is really, really pretty if you stitch with 1 strand and get every single stitch just laying next to each other, all perfect. But we can get that same effect with 2 strands and theoretically stitch it faster. So I'm gonna just use 2 strands for all this tonight. You know what, I think I'm gonna start down at the bottom here and work my way. Oh, you did? Okay, I'll have to check it out when we're done here tonight, Robin. Can't wait to see. What colors did you do it? Do the newt. Can't wait to see it. All right, let's weave in the end here, and we will start that satin stitch. Ooh, I can hear the airplanes. The late flights are starting to go out, it sounds like. All right, there we are. All right, so I'm gonna start. Ooh, dark punk gray. Ooh, oh, dark pink and gray. I'll have to look at that when we're done here, Robin. That sounds pretty. Okay, let me scoot you over here a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with this guy here. I think I'll just go like vertical. For my direction. And for circles, I always kind of like starting in the center and working my way out on either side. So I have the 2 strands. I'm actually going to split. I'm going to put my needle in between the 2 strands and then cross over the circle to the other side. And by going in between the 2 strands, theoretically, ooh, see, there it worked. Both strands will lay perfectly next to each other. So that's almost as if I stitched with 1 strand, but 2 stitches. That's the idea. So I'm just going to go right next to the last stitch, start at the bottom, split that thread again. I'm going to get 1 side down, and then I'll go back to the other side. I'm just keeping on, starting on the same side, so like what I'm considering the bottom of the circle. Splitting the 2 strands and then going up to the top. So I'm going from right to left, and then I'll go back to left to right, or the center to the right. Hey Debbie, hey Jackie. I can actually see your comments tonight again, which is great. Alright. Again, we're splitting that thread. It's called railroading, so I'm railroading the thread and then going back up to the other side. And I think every stitch so far is right next to each other, so it's like super pretty and nice and clean. So there we go. We're going to get a lot of these fawn colored little dots done today. So definitely a chill out day. I kind of like how subtle this is. That I think it makes the pink pop a little bit more, maybe. I like the pink little French knot dots. Splitting the thread takes a little bit of paying attention, but I think it's a nice effect. All right, so there we are, our first little dot. We're just going to keep going on that. Although, you know what? I just thought it'd be really fun to do different colored dots here. Like, I wonder we could do like different color, like subtle dots. Oop, my thread's not quite long enough to get on the needle minder. I can move the needle minder, but I like it there. So we could do like gray and this kind of pinky fawn color. Maybe I want to do that. That's kind of fun. Should we just kind of like randomly pick pinks and grays? So let's do, oops, just flinging this. Let's do this guy up here, the fawn, or I'm calling it pink now, I guess. And maybe these two will be fawn, and then, you know, I don't know, maybe one more, and then that could be gray and gray. So yeah, let's make these three fawn colored, gray, and then we could do gray. Fun! Okay. I don't think I've done one of these with different colors before, and I still think it's going to be super subtle. But subtle, you know, so which will still make the pink and the purple pop, but we'll just have a little bit more interest in the subtle colors, like the gray and the fawn, by having two colors. It'll be like one little extra thing to look at, maybe. Ooh, I don't have variegated, Linda, but that would be so pretty, doing like a variegated floss. I don't have any of that nearby. If I were to do variegated, so variegated thread is where it changes colors along the thread. So like it might start with pink and then it turns into like red, or then turns into, you know, blue or something like that. Or it could be more subtle than that too. But if I were to use variegated floss, I wouldn't start in the center of the dot like I am. Like I'm starting in the center with my first stitch and then going one way and then coming back and going the other. If I was using variegated thread, that would put a change in, like you'd see that like the halfway this way would all look blended, but then if you go back into the center and go that other way, there's going to be like a shift in, like a big shift in color. So if I was using variegated, I would definitely start on one end, like one side of the dot, and go to the other side of the dot. Ooh, finally rained there. Nice, Robin. Gosh, has it rained here in a little while? I think it rained when we were gone. Oh, it did. It rained right when we got back. So Sunday night, I think we were kind of racing the rain. There was a storm coming, so we had to leave like 4 hours early to beat the storm by the time it got here. Ugh, it was annoying. But yeah, so I guess it rained then. I don't think it's rained since, though. I keep thinking it's like Friday, though, you guys. It's just Wednesday. All right, one more stitch here. Oh my God, you guys, I kind of want to get some green in here, too. I have like this little subtle green. Yeah, maybe let's just stick to the gray and this fawn color floss. But now that I'm thinking, like, green would be like really pretty as the letters, or maybe this little bit brighter green. Like this green with the purple and the pink is pretty cute. Then we could do like a green mouth maybe. I was planning on doing this pink, but I don't know, for some reason green just yelled out at me. Suppose we can choose tomorrow. I don't think we'll get to that today. We'll be doing these dots for a while. Satin Stitch takes some time. So I think I'll stitch with this fawn color till I run out of thread, and then we'll do a gray. And, keep going from behind with these dots. I wonder what white dots would look like in here too. Like that'd be like another subtle color to put in here, but I think we'll just stick with the two. Oh, I did give my mother-in-law the chicken. She hung it up in the kitchen, so it looks nice. Gotta help find some stuff to feed the chickens. They had some roses, like they have like a bunch of rose bushes, and there was a bunch of I think they're Japanese beetles, because I saw like a whole thing on them since. I thought they were like potato bugs, but I think which might actually be the same thing as Japanese beetles. I don't know, but the flowers of the roses that were kind of on their way out were just covered, like each flower was covered in these Japanese beetles. So we cut all those off, which, is good to do anyway. We're just deadheading basically the rose bush, and then we fed all those rose bushes and the Japanese beetles to the chickens, and dang did they go at those right away and ate up all those Japanese beetles. Oh, you did yours in pink. Ooh, I'm gonna have to check it out. I can't wait to see it, Robin. Fun. But yeah, and then we gave them like some other, like just like we weeded, and we gave them the weeds and all that, and they were just kind of meh. They saw it coming in, and they were getting all excited that we threw stuff into them, and then they're like, what? This is not the Japanese beetles that were so yummy. So they were like, whatever, after we gave them the beetles and ran out of them. They did like that, though. Very satisfying to cut all those bugs off and feed it to the chickens. I did check out our garden. I hadn't looked at it since we've been back, which is, not what a real gardener would have done. They would have been in there right away, but anyway. We got a pretty rough-looking garden, but there were some tomatoes. I didn't pick them yet, but I think they'll be good till tomorrow, but I'll pick those. And we actually have some peppers, and historically we have not grown peppers well, so, I mean, they're in a different spot than what we tried them at before, so maybe that's why, or weather is just right. We've had so many like crazy blasts of heat this summer, like weeks of just heat, so I'm guessing maybe the peppers like that too. But I don't know what kind of peppers they are, so I don't know. Right now they're green, and I don't know if I'm supposed to wait till they turn color or not. But one's been there a while, so maybe that one we'll pick, but it's still green. But maybe it's just a green pepper, I don't know. Hold on, I can't quite read your guys' comments. Let me scooch this over here. Weird. Okay. Hold on. Well, no luck. For some reason, I can only see, like, the beginning half of the comments. But Catherine says, we picked our long, skinny. I'm hoping you're, like, I'm thinking you're saying peppers. I can't see that last half that's getting cut off, which is just so stupid on my computer here. But yeah, these ones are kind of long and skinny. So did you pick them while they were green? Because ours are pretty green and not really showing a sign that they're going to turn a color, so maybe I should just pick the like big ones. All right, well, those were the 3 that I was thinking would be pink, so let's see where we at now. I was thinking these 3 would be gray, so maybe this one is pink, and then we trade off. So maybe this one's pink and this one's pink, or fawn, I guess. Actually, these aren't taking as long as I thought they would. They are little, so as far as Satin Stitch goes, it's not too intimidating on this little guy, just because, I mean, there's a lot of them, but a lot of, like, circles here, but they're pretty small. They get done in about 8 stitches or so, 7, 8 stitches. Oh, pickle, so like you picked your cucumbers? Is that what you're saying? We did bring home a bunch of chicken eggs. That's always nice. It's always sad when we have to go back to the store to get our eggs. Definitely not as nice as when we get them from John's parents. Ooh, pickled peppers. Yum. There's that tongue twister with pickled peppers. What is it? Oh, the Peter Piper one. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I just like tongue twisters. A hard tongue twister is toy boat. Like, try saying toy boat 5 times really fast. Have you shown a tutorial on lettering? Oh, like cursive or even just in print? Not like a short, quick tutorial. We've done a bunch of type here, but that's a good idea for a video. Let's see. For type, for one, you want to choose a stitch that goes around little tight spaces really well. So for example, I don't think the stem stitch works really well for that, because when you go around curves, sometimes the angles are really visible of your stitches. And if you need to get like tight curves, that's a little tough. So I actually really like the back stitch for letters. And then a lot of times letters will have like a thick area and a thin area. So you can do that in different ways too. So like, let's just say we got what's a letter? Let's do, I literally can't think of a letter. I'm just trying to think of like a good cursive letter. Let's just do like a C. So let's say this is your C, right? Something like that. Oftentimes there might be like a big area on the side here. Oh gosh, this is crazy looking, but let's just fill that in. Ooh, and this pen is out of ink. My poor little friction pen finally died. All right, and you might have a little bit here too. So when I work on like a letter like this, I'll acknowledge that I have a thick part here and then like thin parts in other places. So I'll either do like a couple things typically, like I'll do the thin parts in a back stitch, or like maybe a split back stitch or a split stitch. And then these thick parts, I'll either do several rows of back stitch next to each other. So, you can do like several rows next to each other and it'll add thickness to it. And then, here would be like the rest of just the single row. So that can add some thickness. Another thing I really like is doing the thick parts in a chain stitch, because a chain stitch is like inherently a thicker looking stitch. So that's some of the things I'll do there. But for like really little letters like that, I will just do a back stitch and try and, the more stitches you can fit in there, the more of a curved shape you're going to get. Oh, you're not familiar with all those stitches yet. Mrs. Wendt, I suggest, well, you don't have to do this, obviously, but I have a free, 14-day stitch guide with a free pattern. It's the Stitching Raccoon pattern. And that comes with videos on how to do, 14 different stitches. So if you want to try those out, I think the ones I listed are in there. And then for this project, we've been doing the letters in all sorts of different ways. So the letters in this case are just they're all these fat letters, so you can really fill those in however you like. But let me just show you. So we've been doing the satin stitch for a lot of it, which is, just going all the way across. We went across in really big stitches instead of sideways stitches for this one, which was kind of fun. But for the lion, we filled it in with cross stitches. So that's different. For the letter K, we filled it in with a bunch of back stitches. So this is what I'm saying. If you do back stitches next to each other, it can fill in a shape. So for the thick parts of the letter, I would maybe do something like that. And then the thin parts can be something else. Here's another satin stitch where we just filled it all in and we just used different color threads to just make it look just juicy and fun. Let's see, some more satin stitch. Oh, here we filled in the letters with rows of chain stitches. So that gives it a cute little sweater appearance almost. You just do so many different things. So with this one we did a whipped back stitch. Kind of looks like twine sitting on the edge there. Oh, here we just filled it in with French knots. So you can play around for sure. These ones are all satin stitch, I think. Here we just outlined them. And this one we actually colored in with colored pencil. So we colored in with colored pencil and then just outlined it. And then another satin stitch one. So there's a lot you can do, a lot you can play with. Oops, let's get this newt back out here. But yeah, I think that's a really good idea I should do a video on just type and different ways to do it. You guys, I think this is my last stitch right here, and we're done with the fawn. I think the rest I'm going to do the gray color. So let's just weave that in. And that means we got through it with just one thing of floss. So thread chicken for the win. Oh, Amy says we need to do a cross-hatched letter like weaved. Letter weaved. I'm trying to just envision that a little bit. We could do where we couch the threads down a little bit. That would be kind of fun. All right, get this needle back on the front. I'm letting we can talk about. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do these letters yet. We could fill them in or do something else. That's a tomorrow question. How we should do these ones. I was just going to do them satin stitch, but we were doing so much satin stitch today that, do I want to do more satin stitch tomorrow? I don't know. Oh, how do you go about getting the 14-day deal? In my profile, there'll be a, just my link in the profile there. It'll say, get a free pattern or the 14-day raccoon stitch along. It'll say something like that. It should be right on top. I forget what I called it in there. You sign up with your email and then you get it emailed to you. We also have a blog post with, or in our blog area, we have videos of all the those 14 stitches as well. And then you can still get that free pattern on those blog posts too. So I'm going to grab just 2 here again. Yeah, no problem at all. And, you know, I'm here every evening, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central for about an hour. And if you have a question on any of those, I'm more than happy to do a demo or answer any questions. Oh, like I did in the Mandala Love crosshatch letter. Like weaved, like we did in the Mandala Love. Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I totally know what you're saying now, Amy. That would be fun. I wonder how this letter would work for that. It might be tough, like, going down these angles. LMNOPQ. I'm just trying to think of, is there a different letter that'd be better for that? Maybe the letter T? Maybe we have to do that on letter T. That has like some good straight bits. That'll work well. Ooh, Sylvia says we're processing cabbage. Love that. Are you making sauerkraut? Yum. We should try that again. Try some fermenting again here. All right, so on with the grays. Oh, Mrs. Wendt, I'm so happy you're here. Oh, you're usually quiet. Oh, that's totally fine. Oh, you recently started embroidery. Oh, so appreciate all the tips. Oh, Penguin Robin says, I don't see a link. Okay, in like a link, you mean the link in my profile or once you're on the page, the profile? So to get to the profile, I think you have to click my name up in the corner, and then you know, a thing will pop up down at the bottom here, and then I think you have to click my photo there. It's kind of a lot of steps, but if you click my photo there, it'll go to my page, my TikTok page, and then underneath my name there, it'll be a link, and that link will get you to like my website, like my link tree sort of thing. Ugh, I know that was kind of a lot. Otherwise, Robin, you can go to Penguin and Fish, all one word, .com, and there'll be like a free pattern. Like if you go under like shop, it should say free pattern in there. Or yeah, anywhere on the site it'll say free pattern. Or if you do a search for raccoon sampler, that's the free pattern, and with the free pattern you get like all those stitches emailed to you like once a day with a how-to video. Otherwise we also have the stitches on the blog. But yeah, oh, you found it. Okay, good. Sorry, I know like from a live like this, it is kind of a lot of things to touch without a lot of instruction to get to the actual profile page. But awesome, so I'm glad you found it. All right, I'm liking this gray in here. This is our overcast color. And I think having this color next to the fawn color, it's making the fawn look even more pinky, and it's making the overcast, this gray, look even more like bluish. So like they're competing a little bit, so they're pushing their colors on the spectrum a little bit more than if they would be next to a different color. So I think that's kind of fun. I like that effect. It's kind of fun to do different colors for his dots. I should have just done like all like rainbow colors on the dots. That would be a fun way to stitch this guy up sometime. But I do like how subtle this is looking. They're just kind of shiny. It's almost as if I'm, like, it'd be fun to, it's like silver and gold almost, like a pale silver and gold. He a fancy Newt. Silver and gold spots. Ooh, you're making sauerkraut and pickling it. That'd be good. So, like, with garlic and stuff? And, like, pickling juice? I don't know what that's called. I haven't done that with, or I haven't had that with cabbage before. That sounds really good. I love cabbage, and it lasts for freaking ever, which is nice. If we have time today, and I think we might, let's try and get his little face done. And then tomorrow we can just work on the letters, and then we'll basically be done. Which should be fun. Why I want to be done, like, it'd be nice to have Friday available to us, because without having to finish this guy up, because we have a few other ones that are unfinished, and it'd be nice to kind of wrap those up. And then we can prep all these for quilting too. We haven't quilted any of these in a while, so it'd be nice to kind of get on that game plan again. All right, jump over to this feller. I really like the color of these. I think it's turning out really fun. Subtle little dots here. What colors am I, Arlene's asking, what colors am I considering for the N? Originally, I was thinking this pink, but, like, this green was kind of calling to me when we got started today, so I'm kind of still leaning towards it. It's, like, nice and juicy and bright, kind of like the purple here, so I was thinking, oh, maybe we do his little smile green, and then the letters green, although I don't actually know. Like, I don't know if we'll do the Satin Stitch or if we're going to do something else. So that might affect what color we use. I do kind of want to try that lattice work a little bit, but I don't know how well I'd be able to do that on the N here. I do actually kind of like the idea of couching, though. Like, we could just, like, do one big stitch to the other side and then, like, tack it down with a bunch of other little colorful stitches. That might be a fun way to do it. I don't know. Or we'll just do Satin Stitch. So that's where I'm at. I'm undecided. So taking ideas for sure. Oh, speaking of garlic, I think our garlic's ready to harvest. And I think it was probably ready to harvest a week ago, but I'm sure it's fine. Like the green can. I'm not sure what you're saying, Arlene. Like the green can is what I can see. Oh, like the green can't wait. Oh, like you like the green, you can't wait. Got it. For some reason, only the word can came up for a moment there. And I'm like, can. But I got it. Yeah, I don't know, for some reason that just popped out at me today. It doesn't, like, I'm getting low on some of those colors. That's actually why I chose the colors here, is they're some of the colors that I have the most of still. So we might have to break out another set of penguin and fish colors if we run out. Although, maybe if I run out, I'll have some nearby if I really need a color. But I am still trying to... I'm just curious how far we can get with the one pack of thread for this whole entire project. I'm actually surprised we got this far and have as much, left that we... left of the colors. Oh, sorry, Mrs. Wendt. I'm live on YouTube and Facebook right now, so I'm kind of answering questions from everywhere. Cassie, I do crochet. I freaking love to crochet. Um, I'm crocheting some doilies right now for no reason. Literally no reason. I have no end goal with them other than it's relaxing to do, and I'm crocheting them out of leftover embroidery floss, so I feel like I'm using up some of my stash. So I like that too. I've done, gosh, basically all I've crocheted is like doilies and like amigurumi stuff. I haven't done that in a while. Do I weave in your ends at this? Do I weave in the ends the same as you do the embroidery? I do, Cassie. So like for me, instead of tying knots on the back of my embroidery, just because I find it like annoying to like accidentally get my thread caught on one of those knots, and I don't like when the little ends of the knots, like the little bit of thread at the end, I hate when that gets pulled to the front. So I do weave in my ends back and forth in stitches that already exist, like 3 times. I just go back underneath stitches, like back and forth 3 times, like 1, 2, 3. And actually, I had never thought about that before, but yeah, that's pretty much how I do it in crochet too. I'll just kind of like worm my way up through some stitches and kind of go back a little bit the other way in the same color thread area. I say that last part in the same color thread because like the doilies that I'm doing now, like every few stitches, I switch colors because I'm using floss scraps. Actually, not every few stitches, but you know, some of the longer pieces I get a little bit further, but there's a lot of ends to weave in, and yeah, I do. I guess that is very similar. That's how I do the embroidery here. Right, my thread's getting a little twisty. It's harder to do that railroad where I go down the middle, or like where I put the needle in between the two stitches. It's getting a little tricky with it, so twisty, but we're almost done. 1.5 little dots left. Oh, you're always trying to find a nicer way to weave in ends for crochet or for embroidery. For crochet, yeah, I have a harder time with like knits, weaving those in to keep the knits pretty. But like, yeah, with crochet, I feel like there's so many other like twisty little elements that one extra thread being twisted up in there is hard to tell, at least on the like little stuff that I do with the little bitty threads. It's probably more visible on a larger piece. I don't know. Oh, Amy says love this nail color. Kind of goes with like how bright and like fun these other pinks are. I think I'll get by with this nail polish one more week. I think I might actually have a hack for it. So a little bit of sheen is coming off of it, and like it's getting a little cracked. Like if I look really close at it, I've had it on for a week now. I think if I just put like a top coat over the top of it, I might actually get some more time out of it again. So if I don't have to redo my whole nails and I can just add a little top coat, I think that could be a win. So I might try that. Last feller. Oh, on both. You're always trying to find a nicer weave in on both. I've only done half on one embroidery project. Oh, I just don't like having knots knots in the crochet. Where did pranced come from? Robin, I'm not quite sure what you're saying. Yeah, I don't like having, well, yeah, knots on the crochet for sure. That I don't like at all. It is a huge. I mean, it's annoying to weave in the end. So I don't, when I change colors and stuff in crochet, I don't like tie a knot to, like, I don't connect my two things of thread with a knot. I'll just start stitching and with the new color and let the end just dangle, and then I'll just weave in the end later. But I won't do a knot, so I'm not dealing with like a knot and weaving in the end. Oh, Amy says maybe we should try turkey work for a letter. That would be really fun for a letter. That would take forever though, but that'd be fun. It would just look like a big poof, I'm thinking. You'd have to like trim it really short or something to get to see it as a letter. What would be interesting is like if you trimmed it at an angle, so like some of the hairs are long and some are short. That would be kind of interesting for turkey work. We are getting a little worn with this thread. I'm going to have just enough to finish this guy again. Oh, Prancer the deers. Same with the knots. Oh, come undone too easily. Oh yeah, so that's why I don't do knots in embroidery as well, because I'm always afraid that those knots are going to come undone too. So that's why I like weaving the ends. I think it's a bit more secure than just like one little knot that, like, you know, if you rub on it, it could either get tighter or it could just like loosen itself all the way. With weaving in the ends, so here, first of all, it looks really clean. Like, I don't have any knots on the back here. All the ends are woven in, and I'll weave in this as well. I'll jump up to some of the back stitches. I like weaving into the backs of back stitches the best because there's a lot to grab onto. So I'll go like one, the other way, two, and it's this third time that kind of locks it in. Like if I just go twice, I can usually pull that out, but with 3 times, and I'm just trying to grab it different threads each time with each pass. The third time is what locks it in for me. So that's how I do it. And then what's nice about that is I can snip the thread really close to my stitches as well. So I don't have all those little frayed little bits. I mean, you know, kind of like this, but I don't have like enough that will pull through to the front, which I just hate. So there's the back. And then here we go on the front. And I think we definitely have time to work on his little mouth. And let's just go for it. Let's do the green, like a green mouth, which will basically mean that we'll need to incorporate, not need, but like ideally we'd incorporate this green somehow into the N. However, we decide to do the letter N, just because we'll have an element up here that it'd be nice to like repeat that down at the bottom too, design-wise. Look at this poor little thread. We're getting pretty low. Ooh, pretty low. Okay, let's get our 3 strands out of here. I'm trying to just separate just one at a time. There we go. 1, 2. I gambled there. I usually like to run my hand through it like this after I pull each strand out, because sometimes it'll get jumbled up and it'll get stuck if I don't do that, but it seemed to work fine that time. Like I said, I gambled. Alright. Good to go. Let's thread this guy up. And I think I'm going to weave into the backs of these stitches here and then just jump to the mouth, because this isn't that big of a space. Compared to over here, this is a little bit bigger jump. I think you'd notice that more, so we'll just stitch we'll do backstitch for the mouth yet. So to start, I do basically the same thing. I weave back and forth 3 times. Sometimes it comes out, like if I'm not paying attention on the second pass, I'll accidentally pull the threads out, and that's why I always want the third pass, because that kind of locks it in. There we go. See, I can pull on that. That's not coming out. And I've had a bunch of stuff go through the wash and haven't had one of those woven ends come out either. Ooh, I think this green's going to be pretty with these colors. I really like this purple color that we went with. It's so different than the orange. So this is the original is orange, and we're doing this guy purple. Oh, they look just like friends. They're besties. They're buds. I think this green is pretty. And then we'll do, I think we'll just do black for the eyes. We've been doing black for a lot of the eyes. And I think that's fine. So hey, we'll have this whole newt done actually by the end of the night. And then, yeah, tomorrow we can just work on the letters. That'll be fun. So I definitely pulled more thread than I needed for this little smile, but I'm expecting to use this floss like on other letters and potentially the letters down at the bottom here, so I'm not worried about cutting too much floss. There, his little smile. He's happy. All right, let's weave in this end. I think turkey. I think purple would have went well for this mouth too, I think. But I don't know. The original one had a different color mouth, and I kind of like that. He had the blue mouth and the blue letters. So maybe I'm just subconsciously doing the same thing. All right. Wove that in 3 times. Now let's grab some black and we'll do the 2 eyes. So I already have some black in my little poof, my little cloud here. Oh, that's a plenty big piece. Excellent. Looks like there's a lot in here. Oh, there's 3 strands. Look like 4 strands. All right, I might do that thing where I let the laser eyes sit out. So, so instead of weaving in the ends, because this is a black and you might see that like really well, like if I hold it up to the light or something, you might see that black just like jump. I think I'm gonna do that thing where I leave the first stitch out, kind of like that lazy away knot. So I'm going to start stitching. I like doing these little circles like a hexagon. So I'm thinking about it as like, 6 stitches. So I'm going to leave, this will be my first stitch, but I'm going to actually leave it undone. And I'm going to leave just enough thread hanging out here to do that last stitch and to weave in the end. So I think about right there. I call it like the laser eyes. So I'm just kind of holding it in place while I get going on these other stitches. And it's just a way, so I'm going to weave in these ends into the eye, the stitches behind the eye. And then you won't see me jumping from one bit to another, like kind of how you can see the threads like jumping in between these French knots. I don't really want that at the eyes because, I don't know, your focus goes to the eyes of characters usually, and I don't want like that extra distraction of like a little jump there. So instead I'm going to weave in these ends directly to the back of the eye, like the stitches, the backs of the stitches. And then you won't see that jump. So that's what this is. So I will finish the stitch with this and weave in that end as well. So then both of my ends will be woven in, if that makes sense. That was a really long way of saying that. But there we go. So I just had that last stitch to do, but I'm going to weave in the end here. And actually, I think I might just do the next eye before weaving that first one in, just because my needle's already on this long piece of thread. There, 3 times. Snip that, but you can see like there's no jump on the back, so you won't be able to see. There won't be like any weird jump. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This is why I call it laser eyes, because I got like a little bit hanging out there yet. It's got little black lasers. So let's do the same thing here. Oop, I'm going to need more than that. Enough to do that last stitch and weave in the end. That should be plenty. And I'm doing that hexagon again, so I'm doing like a flat. Oops. That's why I don't do this all that often. Just when I'm doing these little bits like this, because I don't want that thread to get everywhere. But I'm starting the hexagon with a flat bottom and then like the angled sides. So here's one of the angles. And then a flat top. It's super subtle because I'm using like tiny little stitches, but the more stitches, the more like rounded the shape is going to look. All right, laser eyes. Let's weave in this end. This I'm probably going to just woven into the purple that's right next to it. I don't think we would have noticed. I'm just getting perfectionist-y, I guess. Must mean it's getting late. That's usually when that creeps out again. Alright, so I'm done with that thread. Now I can go back to the front and finish these stitches and weave in the ends. So let's get a hold of these threads. Alright. There, I'm finishing that stitch. There we go. Then weaving in that end to the back of the eye again. 1, 2, 3. Getting kind of thick. There. So now there's no like jump in the back there. That's the goal, the reason for the laser eyes. This thread I think is a little shorter, so we'll see how well I can weave in the end. Finishing that stitch. There we go. And we'll weave that in. Two. 3. Okay, and there is our little newt. I've still kind of left these guys in here. I haven't decided if I'm going to cut these out or not. This was our little French knot, like the 3 things you might be doing with the wrong with the French knot. It was our little French knot demo from yesterday. But they're kind of fun. Someone mentioned it looked like he was going to go nibble on them, like it's his little snack. And I thought that was kind of cute. So we'll leave them there for now. I can always pull them out later if I feel like it. But anyway, I think it's kind of part of the story a little bit. Oh, thanks so much, Cassie. So, all right, I think we'll probably stop there for the night. And then tomorrow we'll pick up these letters with maybe the green, although I do have like some brown sitting, or not brown, this gray. Like maybe there's like some way to do like a combo of green and gray. That'd be kind of pretty. I don't know how. Like if we still do a satin stitch or I don't know, something else. We'll have to get creative tomorrow. That's enough for tonight though. So there we go. All right. So, thank you guys again for hanging out with me here tonight. I appreciate it as always. Thanks again. And yeah, check out that free pattern that we have if you haven't downloaded that yet. It's that Stitching Raccoon. You sign up with your email and it gets sent to you, and then you also get emails of the 14 stitches that we go over in that. So if you haven't done that yet, go check that out on penguinandfish.com. And yeah, thank you guys again. And I will see you tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. We'll stitch up these letters. Have a lovely evening. Good night.